Hi everyone. The broadcast is live. Welcome back to Dietyeradio. Okay, Z's back. Everything's good. If Z cuts out, it's over. Okay, we're just gonna let you guys know. The internet has not been stable lately. We're doing the best we can, but we're here. We're gonna still put on a little show for you guys. If the internet cuts out, I'm sorry. That's it. That's just it. Anyway, already Z is cutting out. Oh no. See, we don't know how this is gonna go. In other words, oh, he's back. Maybe Z, are you back? You back?
Y'all can see me? You good now?
Sort of. Okay, yeah, we're good. We can see you.
Alright. Yo.
Okay, we're good. We're good. So yeah, me and Z are here. If the internet cuts out, like I said, that's it. But hi guys, I'm your girl Nina here. And then we got Z over here. We can say our socials or whatever. You can follow me at Nixie_Gabriella. Z.
I mean, it's your boy Z. How do follow me at ZHU and then ZHUNNO _. I almost fucked my mess my own name up. Lord, Z, tell me.
There we go. There we go. We have some kind of topics for you guys today. It's kind of chilly outside. It's snowy. The weather kind of sucks today.
Snowy.
So, well, not snowy. It's like freezing rain or whatever. I didn't have school today, so that's how I got a chance to be here. Yay! And we're just gonna do the best to give you guys an entertaining show. So while you're inside with this weather, you can be doing the same thing we are. I'm still gonna be eating nachos the whole stream, and you're gonna have to just get used to it. So, sucks to suck.
I tried.
Anyway,
She's not listening. I can't tell her nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm still gonna eat them. If you hear a little crunch in the background, that's me.
Just put fat ass in the comments, y'all. Well, I'll get it out there for us. I'll get it out there for us.
That's fine. Keep it coming. It's not gonna stop me. I'm still gonna eat. So today we talk a little bit about artists right now. There's been a lot of chatting about our popular artists nowadays. The one thing that we're gonna chat a little bit about today is you guys have been hearing what's been going on with Chris Brown, okay? That's interesting in itself because he's a little bit controversial right now in terms of what's happening with that ordeal. See, come on in, tell me your takes. What do you think about that whole thing?
What's the whole thing? Just for people who don't know, that's the whole thing. I don't know.
Oh, okay, I know a little bit. Chris Brown has a history of bopping.
History of bopping.
He has a little.
All right, let's start there. Let's start there, because like people like we laughing, but people take that and run with that so hard. Like
he has a history of doing some not good.
One incident. Don't say history like it's multiple motherfuckers he done beat on.
He has a history. He's known for this now.
He has an incident. He had an incident.
That's his life now. People know him as that man.
No,
he was beating on. Okay,
that is not. No, that is not it. That is not it.
He was out here bopping on him.
That is not it. Notice who making the jokes, y'all. It's not the dude.
Okay, yeah.
It's not the dude making the jokes. It's her.
It's literally me. Yeah.
It's the female. I don't want to hear nothing about how niggas say shit.
He was going bop. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Chris Brown, he might have did a little smack up.
What?
This is the only way I can describe it without.
This is a horrible explanation. Like,
all right, you go ahead. You tell him what's up, then.
I'm asking you. Oh Lord. I mean, so apparently people brought up the whole Rihanna thing about him, his hands and putting hands on people and this and the third. And Chris decided to, come back out and let it be known, like, hey, I was 17 when that happened. I'm 33 now. Let's leave this in the past. Like, why are we keep bringing this up? Why are we acting like I just said, like we just be randomly beating the hell out of women every left and right? Just,
Bah, bah. Like he's
but
really out there.
I mean, he really wasn't. But y'all, you got that.
He was going
But I
bah,
guess
bah.
that's the whole scenario. Is it? Is it not? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Like mine was a little more dynamic, but like yeah, we'll give it to you.
Yours was just like left. It's just left.
Mine was a little like bah, yeah, like he was like going bang bang bang. You know what I mean? Anyways, yeah.
One
How do you feel about that? Like, you think we should just like let bygones be bygones, or should
I
we be like,
mean,
dude, stop, just sit down. Like people don't like you no more.
we can't say people don't like him no more because he still sells out. He sells out concerts. People still follow him and give him all all the attention that he so far seeks. So it's like it's not as if people don't. It's not like he just like out of here where people don't mess with him. But in my opinion, I think I agree with him. Where it should be something that I think that we have to understand that he has already dealt with. It's kind of like when someone go to jail or go to prison for a crime, and then we try to hold them like accountable for the crime, even though they just did their prison time. Like, they did their time. Like, I don't need to do time again on the
Right,
outside.
right.
You berating me about what I did. Like, granted, if it's something now, I know some people consider like, well, what about certain things or certain circumstances where you want to, keep it out there for, like sex offenders or this and the third. But that's an extreme where it's something like it's that extreme of a situation. Um,
And they wouldn't be out anyway.
you feel me? But but that's like, to me, it's like I think people forget the situation. A lot of people forget or didn't hear it of Rihanna herself telling the world how the story. She had an interview with Oprah and she told the story about it and told how she told everyone, I was the aggressor. I was the one who punched him. I hit him first. He this that and the third. Like this, none of this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for me. And yet people skip over that. They keep going back to him saying, "No, you hit this girl. Like fuck you." And unfortunately for Chris, this is why I feel like for the other side of Chris, it's like, bro, you did what you did. Like it's kind of like one of them situations where even if you try to go through it, there's always gonna be somebody who has something to say. Like so, it's like you kind of have to take that into consideration where there's always gonna be somebody. But at the same time, I understand where you come from. Where bro, he didn't had several women after this situation. None of them came out and said he didn't randomly put his hands on them. Uh, he has a daughter. Like he has a daughter. Like I think life itself has definitely hit him in the mouth a few times about this situation.
Yes.
So I mean, this is my opinion. What you think?
I think I have to agree with you on that one. Sorry, I'm trying to plug this up so then it doesn't die. But no, I agree with you on this one. Like obviously, people what he did was not good. But I will also say that like people are human, people make mistakes. And we haven't heard any incidents about him doing stuff with all of the women since he's been with. And obviously like Rihanna's happy. She's having her own life. She's about to have another kid. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's moved on. I think the world kind of has to move on too. Like I get it, like it wasn't a good situation, but it also is not making worse than it's not making it better by continuing to dwell on it. And it's not good for his image because I mean he does make good music. People still love him. People still listen to his music. He sells out concerts. He does all of that stuff. But I also think like I wouldn't say people need to necessarily forget it. Like obviously you can keep your eyes on him just like you would any celebrity, but there are worse celebrities, there's worse people out there who's done a lot more stuff. And considering it's been all this time and he hasn't done anything, you kind of just gotta like just let the man live. You know what I mean? Like he's
Gotcha.
really just trying to do his own thing. And like
Now
I
let
get
me
it.
ask this. My fault. I mean cut you off. Let me ask this. What do you think about what he said with the Krishan and Blueface thing?
What did he say?
He brought them up basically saying like how y'all talking about me, but yet y'all go every week to go watch them on TV abuse the shit out of each other, but yet y'all talking about me. Like it's funny. And then Blueface came out. Him and his mom came and made a video going back at Chris Brown, basically saying he dry snitching and that he hit the Blueface words, and this is his words. You hit the wrong B word. You hit the wrong B word. If you would have hit a ghetto girl, you wouldn't have to worry about none of that.
I feel like I have heard about this situation. When you mentioned Blueface and Shaq, you brought something up. No, you brought a memory. Um, I mean, he did get himself sort of in a entanglement with that one. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think he kind of speaks facts. Like you got to realize, like there are worse people out there. You know what I like? I think he was. How do I put this? I don't think he was wrong for saying what he did, but I will say that comes with consequences. You know what I mean? Like people are gonna talk, you know. But I wouldn't like. I don't hold it against him. Like if you want to say something, just know people are gonna clap back.
I'm sorry for that. I think
Granted,
for
Shaq.
me, I
Go
think it's
on.
just like it was one of them situations where it was like he was right. I think he was also petty at the same time.
Yeah,
Because it was like, bro, you right by what you're saying. And even me saying it's petty was like I get like how some people, even me, as I said, like I'm fighting myself in the back. Like, what the fuck you mean by petty? Like what you mean he petty? He was right. Like he was right, but at the same time, it's like
he didn't have to do all that.
like you did because he put out a bunch of people. He's like all these people who y'all glorify, which again he was correct in saying what he said. It was just like why throw everybody else under the bus with you? Like you feel like that's me. That like if I
Right,
I'm
exactly.
like, yo, I ain't even say nothing. Like I'm not the one who did this. I'm not the one who posted it. Like talk about the girl who did it, and he did eventually when he went on her comments and everything. But I'm like, bro, go at her. Like I didn't do nothing. Like why you throwing me here? Like
Right.
so it's
Exactly. Why are
like
you bringing everybody down? These are people you know.
at the same time he wasn't wrong. So it's like, yeah, like y'all don't bring them up and messed up they livelihoods. Like you said, Blueface, y'all watch them on TV every week. Like y'all beat each other up and don't nobody say nothing. But yet it's a weird situation. But I think he was just being petty at the same time where it's just like you just trying to you getting it off your chest, but you in your feelings. Like, like you definitely in your
Exactly.
like
Like I definitely think it was petty. Like I get where you're coming from, but just take a seat down. Like he didn't have to do all that. That was just going a little bit overboard. He just wanted a little more attention. But I mean, like because of him bringing up stuff, people are gonna bring up some of his stuff. You know, like don't bring them down and then bring yourself down too. So I don't know. I'll
facts.
just say he just needs to sit down somewhere. Okay, you're gonna lose the last people we have. Be acting up.
I mean, that was it. If you say last people, he did had his fan base never changed. Like even after this situation happened, like it never changed. Like he still had
That
number
is
one
true.
hits, still kept doing stuff, albums after album. So it's like Chris Brown still Chris Brown. Like you can't sit here and play it off like he ain't Chris Brown. Like it's just like okay, people, and for the most part, Chris Brown really stays to himself. Like he don't go out there trying to be
Yeah, he
seen.
doesn't
Like
really
he,
do anything.
you feel me? So it's like that's why I can feel him when it's like, bro, I don't even bother with y'all. And y'all keep bringing my name up. Like the fact, like he did a video with a female, and it was like, oh look, trying to do a video with a female so y'all can act like he don't put his hands on women. Like what was that about?
I'm dead.
What was that about? Like I haven't done several videos again. Like I don't have several videos of women after that situation. Like I don't have a daughter. Like I ain't been in relationships with women this whole time. And now then nobody came out and said anything about me doing anything since that situation with this girl. Why do y'all keep bringing this up?
Mm-hmm.
And why be random people who don't even nothing got going on to bring it up. Because as soon as that girl brought it up, that's when out of nowhere the next week she started dropping about how she got a video. And she finna drop a video of her doing a song of her dancing in the street and everything. And that's when you see Chris Brown in her comments talking about, boo, tomatoes, and talking about choo choo train and all that, because it's a story that she came out basically saying how she let the
Wait, Z, it's cutting out.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's gone, guys. It's over. Like I said, I told you guys, if he cuts out, that's
Oh
it.
Lord.
15-minute podcast.
Yo, can you hear me?
I think so.
Can you hear me now?
Say more words.
All right. Again, we told y'all we don't know what's going on. I think everybody in there going crazy, but whatever. Yeah, I just don't know. But then, like you said, Rihanna living her best life, doing her thing. So it's like, leave it alone,
Right, you got to think, and also like if we were in his situation, or if anybody were in his situation, they'd be kind of pissed too. Like, let me live my life, bro. Like, let me just. I did a bad thing as a kid. I wasn't even of legal age. You know what I mean? Like,
now let
I don't
me
know
ask
my
this
rights and
question:
wrongs.
if the situation never happened between him and Rihanna, where that whole situation would happen, do you think Rihanna would have been been a Super Bowl halftime show performance before Chris Brown?
See, oh my gosh, I was just having a conversation about this with somebody. Who was it? I was in the car, and I had this conversation with someone. Dang, I forgot. We were talking about like the whole Chris Brown situation with Rihanna, but I said something like, to be honest though, I don't think Rihanna would be where she was if that didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel that.
Granted, she's
I
great.
feel that.
I love Rihanna. Like, I listen to her music 24/7. I'm in there, dancing, whatever, Disturbia and Diamonds, whatever. But I feel like a lot of her songs also come from her pain, or like how she's feeling, or like what happened. And like, I think that's why a lot of people can relate to them, because they're just like, oh man, like I can vibe with this because like I'm feeling this or that way. But if this didn't happen, some of those bangers she got, where would they have came from? Like, what would be the oomph behind creating those? Sometimes you need a little bit of bad in your life to create something good. And granted, it wasn't the best situation. Like, I'm not saying she should have got beaten up, but like, you are like, you're a billionaire, you got 2 beautiful kids, and a man that hopefully isn't cheating on you. But hey, you still got money. You got money, you got kids. What can you ask for?
I feel that though. But what do you think? Again, do you think Chris Brown would have been do you think Chris Brown would have had a Super Bowl halftime performance before Rihanna did? Because we gotta, again, Rihanna had one 2023. Rihanna ain't made music for how much long? So it's like she been on her own little move for a little moment. So it's like, let's be, and if you really want to be honest, like Chris Brown's music versus Rihanna music, like I'm gonna pick Chris Brown. I'm sorry, I fuck with Rihanna.
Really?
Chris Brown. I'm sorry, Chris Brown got way more like, and he got it all. He going all over. You feel me? He over here with it.
I will say, like, I do like Chris Brown's music. Like, he is a good singer. Like, he has good music out. I'll say this. Okay, I hate to say it like this, but like, if the situation never happened, I think I would have rather have had seen a Chris Brown Super Bowl performance over Rihanna. Because like, I love Rihanna, okay? Like, I'm sorry, when it comes to Rihanna and Chris Brown right now, I'm picking Rihanna. But back then, I really did listen to Chris Brown and Rihanna as if they were separate people. But during that time, Rihanna's music, like, yeah, it was hitting, but like Chris Brown was hitting, you know? Like, I was thinking, like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I can't. I'm sorry. I'm picking Chris. I gotta pick Chris.
You're like, I
Even now,
gotta pick
I gotta pick
Chris.
Chris. Even now, I gotta pick Chris. I'm sorry. Don't get me
That's
wrong.
fair.
Rihanna was cool. She did her thing, but like,
She
just
did a
she did every song that you knew. She did every song like that she had, and even every song that she had. I'm
right. She doesn't
sorry
have anything
if you put
new.
those songs next to Chris Brown's best songs.
It
Chris Super Bowl is going crazy. Like that Super Bowl is going crazy.
that Super Bowl would be like, oh, we
You got lights everywhere. You got people.
people
All that dancing that y'all
dancing.
see, bro, it's a real legit. He dancing with him.
He does, yeah. He would be dancing with him too. Cause Rihanna, she can't
That's right. And then
dance, you know.
because Super Bowl, they try to make you go through your whole little timeline of music. So now you got from 30 Chris Brown all the way to 16 Chris Brown. So now you got wall to wall. I don't hear nothing but ladies call it. Like, it's a rap. It's a rap. It's a rap.
Oh, yeah, the
Rap. It's a rap.
You right though. No. You right. Because Chris Brown did have
Take you down, Chris Brown.
Take
come
you
out
down.
and take you down. It's a rap. It's
Oh,
a rap. It's a rap.
yeah. It was slap. It was
Like that's what I'm like. That's why I really had to ask that. Like a Chris Brown Super Bowl versus a Rihanna Super Bowl. Rihanna would
at
never
this
get a
point.
Super
Do you think
Bowl.
Chris Brown would ever get a Super Bowl? Like
Now
I
he
just,
won't.
yeah. Now
That
I don't. I
situation
just
that
don't
happened,
see
he
it
won't.
happening.
Yeah, with that
And it
situation, he won't.
sucks because, like like we were saying, like, oh, people need to get over that situation. But because of that is why he will most likely never ever get a,
Because
like.
you'll
Granted,
always
most
have,
celebrities do, but
long as we have social justice warriors around, where they're just gonna, everyone wants
yeah,
to
they're
be
gonna hate on
politically correct,
him.
and like the super radical people who are always trying to do, you're gonna always have that, where it's gonna always be somebody trying to tell you how you can't be this and the third because of what you did 20 years ago. Like, you see it now, like people are getting fired. Teachers are getting fired for something that happened 30 years ago. People are randomly getting charged for crimes that happened 40 years ago about stuff that they didn't even know was a thing. Now all of a sudden it's like, bro,
It's like you gotta watch what you're doing. You can't trust nobody.
You got people taking your tweets from when you was 12 and using that against you.
Right.
Like,
half the YouTubers that were on the planet are gone because of
gone.
people that are like, remember when you said this?
Some of the biggest channels we know about are freaking canceled now and banned from places, Twitch, YouTube, everything. Like, so it's like, it's hard. Like, I can see. That's why I said if it wasn't for that situation, you would have saw Chris Brown one way a long time ago. Like,
now, follow-up question: do you think that stuff should matter in nowadays, or should it always be the past is in the past? Like, granted, we're talking about Chris Brown's situation as if like, all right, it happened, forget, move on it. But like for things like what we're talking about right now, like if I were a YouTuber and I said some crazy stuff on the internet years back, should I be suffering the repercussions of it today? You know, like you gotta, like YouTubers who were making millions on YouTube lost their careers pretty much. They gotta work regular 9 to 5s because they can't work because someone's gonna be like, remember when you were 15? I saw your Twitter post. Get off the internet.
Yes and no. The reason why I say yes and no is because yes, you should be held accountable for what you do. Like, say if you, like we just said, you did something in 15. Like, granted, you were 15, so you was in a whole different headspace, but it is something that you chose to say online. So it's like once you choose to do something that doesn't benefit. Prime example, you're accountable. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, because a lot of people are saying like, nah, you should be accountable for every certain thing. I feel like you should be accountable for every choice you make, regardless of good, bad, whatever happens in the situation, good, bad, ugly.
Right, whatever you do, that's you.
It happened. As in, you knew the repercussions of what was going to happen, good or bad, before you chose to do what you did. So if you chose to do it, it's on you. So that's why I say yes and no, where it's like, yes, you should be held accountable for what you do. At the same time, it's like, okay, you hold me accountable, but how long? Who? Here's the back to your question: how long does it take, or who is the person who gives you the term of how long it takes for you to be canceled, or how long it takes for you to be in this situation where I have to abide by y'all rules? Because now, if I'm sitting here and if I say, okay, for example, if I got online and I said something that people didn't like, right? And I go apologize online, which I'm gonna let y'all know now. If I say something, I meant it, so I'm not apologizing unless I G shit feel like.
Right, exactly.
So if I come online, right, and I say something and then y'all say, okay, I come back and I apologize about it. How long does it take for y'all to get over that situation? Because I've already done apologize and said I'm ready to move on from the situation. But now because you as the person or as the public opinion, the court of public opinion, you feel like as if, nah, I'm finna forever be mad. Like you hear people all the time, like, for example, Hogwarts came out, the game, Hogwarts Legacy that y'all was talking about last week. People were you hear it now where the LGBT community, the trans people in the community are now saying how if you play this game, you're transphobic somehow. And it's like,
what's the reasoning behind that?
Exactly. You feel me? Where it's like, where's the because J.K. Rowling
I heard about that situation. People.
So it was like, bro, but she doesn't get nothing from the game. That game has nothing to do with her.
Right,
like,
the game has nothing to do with her.
Like, what was the point of doing that? Where now all of a sudden we have to that's why I said, but who gets to make that decision? Who gets to make that term for you? Like, say it like how you go to court and the judge, you guilty, okay, your sentence is gonna be this long. Who is making the sentence?
Right.
Because it seems like as if we just making sentences as time goes on. Like, you know what? Are we still mad about you today? You did this yesterday, so we good. Wait, but you did this last week, so I'm still mad at you. Like, what the heck? Like, why are we picking and choosing? Like, either we leaving it alone or we not. Like,
or we're not. Yeah.
So that's my question to it. Would be, who gets to determine that?
Who gets to determine that?
And then if they get to determine it, how do we move from that time? Like, how do we move from that? Because apparently it's not working.
Right. Because if you think about it, like, okay, like I'm thinking of like, okay, have you ever heard of like Jenna Marbles? Jenna Marbles basically took herself off the platform because she thought there was too much hate and stuff. Then you have people like EDP, who was known for being a child predator person, but is inserting himself back into YouTube because he believes that he was unfairly kicked off of YouTube. But neither in both of these situations, granted, Jenna Marbles, I don't know if it was like she said the N-word or something, but in both of these cases, in a real situation, you might get a sentence, a fine or something. You, like EDP, he should be in jail. But while he's basically, his whole life is on the internet, neither of these people have gone to jail. Neither of these people have committed any sort of sentence, anything like that lawfully, technically should be sentenced for. But you have people like EDP who's like, forget it. Like, you guys aren't going to choose my life for me. I'm going to just keep living. You have Jenna Marbles that are like, well, I'll give myself the sentence by never coming back to this platform again. Or I think it's almost like the public chooses, but it's also the person. It's just like, I don't know. It's really, I think, a morality thing. Like, EDP knows good and well he probably shouldn't be on the internet. But then again, I'm not EDP. I don't know what I did, what's wrong, what's right. But like a man like him probably shouldn't be on the internet.
Okay, so for EDP situation, right? Let's use EDP versus, I ain't gonna say Jenna, but let's say Chris Brown, right? Since that's what we talking about, right?
Okay, yeah.
We gotta look at those are circumstances, situations where we gotta. One is like, a violent crime of like of a fight or abuse, if y'all want to call it. It was a fight, so I hate saying abuse. And
a fight.
If we really want to have discussions on domestic violence and all that stuff, we can. But y'all not gonna like what I'm gonna say. You probably didn't heard it some places in other podcasts. It's damn self, but it's true. Just let y'all know it's true. But you got that DV versus versus the CP, because we can't say the name. So CP, right? So you got DV versus CP, right? I understand these are two. They treat them differently. You feel what I'm saying? So like if they treat the crimes differently. So one is dealing with children, one is dealing with someone who's an adult, who is just as much an adult and it has the choices as you. So it's like with EDP, he was more of a I would reach you where I say you. I would definitely be like, nah, you can't get back on
Oh man,
especially
he's
your
cutting
family.
out, guys. I don't know where he is.
So it's hard to
V,
get.
you're going away.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm waiting for him to catch up, ladies and gentlemen. Just wait. Oh no.
Can you hear me?
Okay, we're good.
We're good. Okay. All right. Back. Yeah. So like I said, EDP situation, which was like your fan base of children, you're trying to get on YouTube where kids come here and this and the third. I feel like for him, I don't think the police were ever called, one, because I think it was that YouTube people where they try to just put it out there for predators.
Yeah, they try to put it out there.
And then two, you gotta understand his job was YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you basically just took my whole everything from me, and then on top of that, I have to sit here and go. Now you're telling me to go work places. You feel me? Well, now when I go work for places, they don't want me to work here because
they don't want me to work here.
You feel me? You're putting it out
You're
there
framed.
to the world. You know, you got
That.
people out here who sending us to your jobs and to places that where you go interview. Hey, this person has this and this. There's a video of them doing this and that. So it's like now these people who you want them to go find life and go get better, but yet you're willing to destroy their life all the way through before they get better. So now it's like,
right,
it makes it for EDP where it's like, well, you're not gonna give me anything to get better, and yet y'all taking everything from you. I might as well.
So I'm just gonna come back. Yeah.
You feel me? Versus with, like I said, with Chris, that was a situation where
his job wasn't taken from him.
You feel me? The job wasn't taken from me. It was more like I have to sit down for a little. It's like you got suspended. It's a difference between getting suspended.
Right. He got suspended
versus you got fired. You feel me? Yeah, exactly. So it's like one you can both get in trouble, but depending on the policies and the situation of the policies, they ain't gonna treat it differently. So
right.
You know, so for me, it's just like.
It's tough when it comes to this online stuff. There's like no policing really around it. There's nobody that's gonna say like, oh, you can't be here anymore. But at the same time, the public has such a big stance on what happens to these mini famous people that it's almost like they're well known enough to where if they do something wrong, everyone's going to know about it, or a good portion of people will, to where if you want to mess them up, that's really what's going to happen. Like actual celebrities, they have managers, they have a whole team around them to change the stories, pay off people, mix the words around before it gets to the public. And there's a lot of ins and outs that happen behind the scenes before it even gets to the public, before a press release even happens. But for people who are making it on their own, when something happens, it's happening live. It's happening because they snitched on themselves by doing a YouTube video and something's in the background that they didn't see. Or it could be a million different things. It's just...
Why was that so specific? Like, why did you have to say that specifically?
Because I was thinking about the situation with the Twitch streamers and how that one guy basically got in trouble because he had the the not so good image of another female YouTuber doing some not allowed to say on the YouTube / podcast thing. She was doing some very inappropriate actions, but it wasn't really her doing it. The deep fake. Yeah. With the AI stuff. I don't know how I feel about that stuff, because you could essentially take anybody. You could take our faces, put us in a deep fake on AI of us doing some stuff that we're not really doing, and you could sell it for thousands of dollars, and I'm not even doing it.
She said, I'm not even doing it.
I'm not even doing it. Like, at the very least, make it real. But like,
That's where the problem's at right there. She said, fuck that you making deep fakes, fuck the money. I'm not even doing it.
I'm not even doing it. Right? I'm not even doing it. I'm not even the one profiting on apparently what should be me. Y'all are wrong for that one.
She said, I didn't even get to enjoy it. Like, I'm not even the one enjoying it. And
I'm not even. Y'all are out here doing this to me. I didn't get any part of that. Do you know how upsetting that? I didn't get a piece of the pie, and I didn't get a piece of the pie. You know what I mean? That just seems wrong. I don't love it. I do think AI technology is amazing, and like it's one day going to take over the whole world. You're not even going to know who's who at that point. But I will say, y'all need to pay those people. Those people, that's their face. That's their face.
Here's the problem with that, right? This is the problem of the internet that I think people need to understand. Like, it's free, so it's like it's one of the situations where you can't get me in trouble for putting something that you put on the internet back on the internet. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah,
but how
you
are
can.
You gonna say like I'm gonna create something of you that you never even created? You know, like hey. I get it. I decided to put my face on the internet, okay, and by doing that, people can just take my face and create inappropriate content out of it. That I feel like there has to be some regulations with that. Like, it's one thing if I did it, if I wanted to do it, but who said they could do that to me? That's what I'm
saying. You can't regulate that because it's like it's one of the situations you can't really, because again, it's the internet. So it's like once you put it out there, it's out there. So it's hard to be like, well, I don't want you taking that as if by making your own. Like, you can't go on public places. You feel what I'm saying? That's like me saying, it's like someone going out on the public area, like on the street, and they're video recording you in a camera, and you're like, hey, I don't want you recording me. Well, you're in a public area. You can't tell me I can't record you in a public area. I can see if I was at your house, or I was at your door, or I was in a place where it was private property. Okay, that's a whole different ballgame, because now you can call that. You can say that I don't want my stuff on, because this is a place where I can call that. But when you're
right, like this is my public, like this is my property.
Get off. But when you're in a public domain like YouTube, Twitch, this, that, and the third, like where people can see you from anywhere and everywhere. You got Instagram. You basically live your job is off the internet. You have to keep posting and put your face out there for people to see you. You can't then get mad when people use it against you, because like it happens. The only issue that it doesn't feel right that it happens, because I get it where it's like,
right.
I want to, this is my life, and you ruining this and the third. But at the same time, it's like this is why I say I'm pro accountability, where you have to understand where that's part of the situation, where it comes with the territory. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like there's nothing really you can do, but it does suck. I feel like it's almost like somebody violated you. Somebody violated you, and like you had no say in it. Like, I just feel like that's so wrong. Like.
It is. It's true. It's wrong.
Like, what are you like? I don't. And like, if this would happen in real life, the other person would get arrested or something. But like on the internet, they can just basically mess you up, and all you can do is just sit there and looking at it sad.
Well, in real life, they couldn't take a video of you having sex without your knowledge most of the time. You see, unless people just randomly are spies and can get into your
your home.
But other than that, I doubt it. So,
yeah, I don't know.
For me though, it's a bad thing. Obviously, like I said, where it's morally wrong. You don't want to see people do that. But then, at the same time, how can I stop people's imagination? Like, I can't, because it's just like, it's kind of like saying someone having a fetish or having being
right, like
I can't say, okay, you're wrong for doing. You are wrong but at the same time, that's you're a human. Like, you have certain hormones and stuff like that. You get like, it happens. So it's like I can't get mad at you for having your own sexual preferences that you do at your own. Like, that's what I think a lot of people got to remember too when we bring up the deepfakes thing with that dude, where it wasn't like he was trying to put it out there for people to see that he was doing it. Someone found that off his
Right. Someone found it. Yeah.
you feel like one of his fans went off his tabs and looked it up and found out what he was looking at, which again it's wrong, but it's like you just invaded his privacy to figure out what the heck he was invading other people's privacy. So it's like, can two wrongs make a right here?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's weird because I think America is like the only country that is like so pro sexual things, but not at the same time. Like if you go to some countries, they're free. They're out in the open. They're just living in the breeze and the trees of like getting it on just out there, you know? But in America, we're also like, we're those people that are like, oh yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. But we're also the people who don't want to talk about it. We're also the people who don't want to share it. We're also the people that are like, oh, why would you do that? Don't do that. That's wrong. So it just gives people like so many different contradictions on what's right and what's wrong. And I think people themselves get confused of like, what should I do? You know? And like, for instance, like when I was in Japan, those people are similar in terms of like sexual things, but it's also very well known how people do things. And like somebody could right off the bat tell me how they do things. And if somebody asked me the same question about how America does it, I'd be like, well, you know, land of the free and all, everyone is different.
Very true. Very true. That's why I asked the question, like, who can make the sentence and say which was morally right and what's wrong? Because especially in my opinion, where we liberated everything now, where everything's like just so everybody can be free and open.
Right, you can do whatever you want.
Where's the line? Like nobody knows the line. Like,
yeah,
we're picking and choosing where the line at. Like we got it's like an eraser. We got an eraser marker on it, and every time we make a line, we just hold on, let's put this one
right. You're like, hold on, no, well, yeah, we have to move.
Wait, okay, let this one slide. Let me erase the line for this one. Okay, we X mark on this line. Like we gotta put a line and cement it. Like it's no cemented anymore.
You're right. There needs to be like an actual like, okay, you can't do this. There is no exceptions. Do not do this. But it's also like, you have companies like, for instance, like Google. You have Google, and Google can only do so much. You know, they're the ones who created the internet, or like created the browsing stream to some extent, and they don't really have any control of what you want to put on there. Their job is for you just to be able to do that. So who's to say that they need to police around what you can and can't put out there? Then you have things like YouTube, who tries to regulate it, who gives you what you can and can put on there, but they also know that every single day millions and millions of people are posting and posting and posting. It might take a couple months before that stuff gets even taken, and by then everyone's already seen it. You know, like there's no one that's going to sit down and be like, we need to review your video before we can put it on the internet. What team is YouTube going to create to do that? And they'd have to hire half the country just to get it done, to watch all these videos. They can only go off of.
When we think about it, where it's like, even with them doing that, like say with YouTube trying to regulate it, like it goes against our what we supposed to be as people. You feel me? Because it's
right, like what it means to be an American, pretty much.
You know, like it's like if I want to sit here and say what I need to say, like why should I not be allowed to say it? And if granted, at the same time, it's their platform, so it's like, well, why would I let you say something on my platform that I don't agree with? But they're not telling you they don't agree with it. They're just trying to keep it where we don't want you to hurt the other group. You know, like the people, like I said, the radical people who will come out and just snap on you, go crazy, this, that, and the third. Like, oh yeah, you X, Y, and Z, you X, Y, and Z. Like, and it's like, okay, how can I be able to speak my mind and have the? That's what I think. I've had this discussion with y'all previously before, where people do not know how to have conversation no more and discussion and debate no more, because things have been so much emotional to where now people can't speak on facts without someone taking it and feeling some type of way.
In feelings and stuff. We have talked about this.
It's hard.
Because I think another big thing that you can bring up is like, there's a difference between like freedom of speech and then freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Like, you're allowed to say things, and we have the ability to say whatever we want within a certain context. You know what I mean? Like, we have, like, I'm allowed to say KYS, but should
Mhm.
I? I have the ability to say those things without getting murdered for saying them. But it comes with some responsibilities of saying those things to somebody or whatever the repercussions might be. But as Americans, we have that ability. If I go to
But
another country, if I go to
that
another
personal
country and
thing? I'm
basically
sorry.
say that, oh, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
I was saying, would that be wouldn't that be a personal thing? Like if you say, like you just said, if I can say X, Y, and Z, but should I say it? Like, isn't that not a personal thought? Like, is that something I feel like I should be able to move another person?
Oh no, he's gone. See, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Oh, he's back.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. What part did you hear?
I heard. Is that a personal thing?
Okay. So like, is that something that you personally think like to yourself? Like, okay, I can say X, Y, and Z, but I probably shouldn't, or is that something that you want other people to govern for you?
Well, I think that's the liberty Americans have. But I will also say that other countries don't have that ability. Like, you cannot say X, Y, and Z without getting shot or killed. Or like, we have that ability to say these things. Should we say them? That is a personal thing. Yes or no. There might be repercussions of it. But you won't get arrested for saying something. Well, to some degree. But
Right, to say.
right, so, to some degree. But in Japan, there are certain things I cannot say. You know, there's certain things that I won't be able to say, and that's actually just because that is part of their laws. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I go over there and I just start spewing stuff, I will go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
But here, I have the ability to say whatever I want, but will it come with some repercussions? So be it.
So, do you think that's the issue with us? Like with the court of public opinion, and everything. Like people get to say what they say freely without having repercussions behind it. Like for sure, repercussions. Like there's always possibility of repercussions, but there's never like a for sure. Like if you do this, like you're gonna. Prime example, they used to have it back in the day. Like if you steal, your hand gets cut off immediately. Like there's no talking about it. Like
right. There is that.
But now today it's like more we talk about it. Like if I got caught stealing, oh well, maybe like it was for a
right.
reason.
It's always
so
like
maybe,
a question.
Like well, okay, we ain't gonna cut your arm off, but we gonna hold it behind your back for like a good 2 days, and then you'll not use that arm for like a good 2 days. Now you just like, well, what was the whole point? Everybody with a nub is just sitting here like, bro, you for real? Like, you for real? And that's what I'm saying. Where like, where do we is that the issue with our community? Like with our
right
with itself?
Right, is the issue that we're too free, that we need some discipline, or is it? I don't know. I just feel like it's more as the fact that like people abuse the power they have. Like it's like Americans have this sort of like feeling that like I can do whatever the heck I want. And to some extent, yeah, you really can do whatever the heck you want. But I think it also comes at the cost of literally everybody else because of what one person wants to do. And that one person isn't just one person. It's almost everybody in America. Like some people who are on YouTube in other countries might be seeing a different side of YouTube because they don't see the American YouTube all the time. Like they're probably looking at their phone like, oh dang, like if I said something like that in my country, like I think something would happen to me on the spot. And people are looking at this as like entertainment, like, oh, I wonder if this is even real, because they just have so much freedom over there. And people look at this as if they want to come here because they're like, I can do that. Like I can just live my life however the heck I want. but to some extent, it's like
90-Day Fiance.
why, huh? Yeah,
I said
yeah,
90
like
Day Fiance.
90 Fiance. They're just like, I just want a better life, you know. I'm gonna go over there and all my dreams and aspirations, and I'm gonna be a true American. I'm gonna say hi to Trump and go live on Hollywood with all my money.
Well, I think
Not
that's
the case.
America's fault for that though, because like we try to play a facade of feeling like America, like this the white picket fence dream, the American dream, where you can have the white picket fence and your family and everything
Right,
like
like everything's gonna be
we,
great.
and then
Happy and
the
sunshine.
American dream turned into the American nightmare, and then it turned into like we finna be internet American dream, like where we just finna everybody do it on your own, and now all of a sudden it's like and it, like people, and I feel like that's why I say it's Americans' fault because we put that arrogance on us to
Yeah,
where
we really
we go to
do.
people countries and treat it like as if like, oh, we're an American, you should be happy I'm here. Like, no, they don't like you.
No, yeah, like
They don't like you
we don't
like
love, right. I'm sure they're doing just fine without us, you know.
so it's like how do you in my opinion, like I said, America, we did that to ourselves where we just don't tell the truth. And that's why I feel like that's why I asked the question, like, do we try to coddle things too much and hold and destroy ourselves with doing that? Because we try to tell ourselves a story that ain't true. And then when we go to other countries and everything, we try to tell them a story that ain't true. And then when they start to believe it, we gotta now live into this lie that ain't really going on. And
That
then
ain't
all of a
really the
sudden
case.
it ain't real. Like, so you just like, bro, what the heck? Now you got people feel like they playing. Like, that's why you hear that. That's why I feel like you hear the people talk about the NPCs and feel like they're going through like, because it's not real. Like the stuff that they're trying to
Right,
put
like the
you in,
simulation stuff, but you feel like nothing's, to
it's
some
just not
extent,
real.
maybe it isn't. Because everyone lives a white lie that becomes a bigger lie, and then you're basically living a lie at some point because you told so many of them that now you believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, you're hearing so many other lies that other people are believing. It's just like you really, sometimes it does feel like you're living in a simulation. And heck, who's to say we aren't? Like, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, and I don't know. I don't want to be the one to say that, like, America needs more regulation, because the whole point of being in America is to have freedom. Like, the whole point is for people to be able to say whatever the heck they want, do whatever the heck they want. And whether it goes right or wrong for them, that is the choice that they made.
I don't think that's what you have a right to do whatever. I think that's the issue that I feel like a lot of people took for advantage though. Where you have a right to do whatever you want, but you have right to free will, but you don't have right to free from accountability of your free will. Or you don't get to do what you please
Right.
and still not get to not be accountable for doing what you please afterwards. And I feel like that's what a lot of people, especially us Americans, where we kind of ruin that for ourselves because we stop being held accountable for crap. Like everybody had to
Yeah.
get out of jail free card or something, whether God if it was this or that. Like it was always something that they could get out of jail free card or something. It's like, why? Like, if you was to go to other countries and different places where they were a little bit more, there's no get out of jail free card for it. You did what you did. You going
You
down.
did
Like
what
there's
you
no.
did. Right. Like, you knew
So
the
it's like we
repercussions
don't
of
do
what
that
you
here.
did. So
Yeah, we don't do that here. We have discussions on what possibly, well, if you did do it like this and the third, and well, well, what's the context of why you did it? And you just like, what happened? Like, what happened to keeping it structured? Like, it's like
structured.
that's why I said like it's very, we got to a point where I agree with you. I don't want to say regulate and have regulations, but I feel like we definitely need to be, I don't even want to say more conservative because like I feel like people are gonna say like, oh, you trying to say let's turn more Republican. I'm not saying or that either.
Right.
In my opinion, I feel
But
like I've told this to y'all before. I think black people don't need to be in neither one of the political parties. We need to create our own political party, and or minorities in general need to create their own political party because both sides have done equally crappy crap. So it don't matter about them switching
yes,
who
that would
does
be
what.
amazing.
All these people saying Democratic used to be Republican, all that they switched and all. It
Forget
don't,
all that.
it
Like,
don't matter. They
just
both did the
we
same.
just need our own party, and
Yeah, we need our own
because
party
they
where
don't
we can
care. They
have
don't
our
care about
own
us.
agenda.
Right? They don't care about us.
But
That's why we're always last of the
I
line.
don't
We
want to
get the
say.
lowest
I
income.
want to say be more. I don't again. I don't want to say be more conservative. At the same time, I don't see no other word other than conservative, as in America needs to start like holding back
People
certain things.
accountable.
And I
Yeah.
feel like they started to do that, which I feel we talked about this last year, but I already know like the people feel some type of way about it still to this day. Was I feel like they kind of gave back started giving back to accountability to Americans with the Roe v. Wade thing, where they started saying, okay, bet we kind of gave everyone, or not everyone, but the people, women, a get out of jail free card on certain things. Where now, okay, let's take that back now. So all of a sudden, where now everybody ain't gonna get out of jail.
Right. Let's take it. Yeah. Let's take that back now. Y'all have been having a little bit too much fun.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like it's starting to do that, but then again, you always gonna have the arguments where it's like
arguments.
I want to be. Well, what about my liberal rights? I should be able to be able to set the 30. At the other side, like, well, the right to do it, but you should be held accountable for doing the do. Like,
right, like, you should be held accountable, right? Like, you can't just be out here
living free and do me. And it's like, which one? Like, yeah, I want to live free.
Right, like, what do you want? Yeah, like, I want to do.
Go ahead, you go.
No, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, I just want to live too, but it's also like you can't live without a couple sticks in the road if you just gonna be living. I agree with everything you're saying, literally. I just think that America's like one of those places that it's almost like it's too far gone. Like, there'll be little things here and there that might be changed around depending on the public opinion, but it's also like other countries aren't like America, like people come to America because of the lies and the beauty of how it looks like on the outside. And I get it. Like, America has a lot of privileges to it, but there's also a lot of things underneath the surface of the country, literally, that aren't necessarily being told in the right way. So like when like the online traffic, the issues with like violence and SA, stuff like that, like all of those things now becoming an online sort of platform, there's no real regulations about that kind of stuff yet. It's just like, I don't think America will ever hold the reins on that kind of stuff. Like, eventually, probably, but there will always, like you said, there are always going to be people that are like, what about my what about my rights? What about the fact that, like, have you read the Constitution? I have the ability to do this, and this, and that should apply for online, this, like, it's like, what are you going to do? You created a country of the free. Now these people want to be free, but now everybody wants to be a villain of their own story. So what can you do? It's just, who's going to stop them? Themselves. And that's morally, if they want to. People can raise their kids up however they see fit. They don't have you have freedom of religion, you have freedom of this, you have freedom of that, because you're able to do whatever the heck you want. But that also means you're going to create a lot of interesting people. Some that to the eye might be a good person, but underneath might not be. It's just, you just don't know at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that, because it's like, to me, like, it's crazy to me as I think about it now. Like, you don't hear, like, for example, all these podcasts of relationships and the first world modern woman versus the modern man and this, that, like, you don't hear this in no other, like, you don't hear this in second and third world countries. You don't hear
you don't hear this stuff in other places.
Like,
they don't
real
have time
countries,
for that.
traditional countries, because they don't care. Like, they understand that this is a situation that we're doing this together. We're going to make this a situation where I can't do because it makes you upset. I know for a fact it makes you upset, so let me not do this. And I know if when you do this, it makes me upset, so you know not to do it because you know it's gonna make me like, nah. We've gotten to a place where America is, in my opinion, is gonna rip itself apart, because it's like, everyone's too selfish. and I've been. It's kind of crazy because I've been watching like a bunch of random like Abraham Lincoln like documentaries and stuff like on Apple TV and everything. Like I feel like in my opinion, like another civil war, like a civil war might just happen in America.
It would. It would be the
We're
war
gonna
against
the
its own
history is gonna
people.
repeat itself.
Yeah, and it's possible. Like it's serious. Like when I was in Japan, my friend from Hong Kong, she told me she was not allowed to download Facebook. It is against the law to have Facebook in her country. And when she went to Japan, she's like, I'm so excited because I can finally download Facebook. Like their phones are literally government watched. Everything they talk about, to what they type, to what they say, those things are regulated. And that includes certain apps. You can't even find certain apps in their country because of the regulations over there. And she was telling me, she's like, oh no, I'm not allowed to have that app. Like you could get arrested if you have that. Like they'll find you pretty much. Like they're tracking you. And people don't realize how much freedom we have, but because of that, you create a bunch of people that want to track other people to just do whatever the heck they want, like
they do that here in America.
They do that in America. They do that. Oh, he's gone. He's coming back, guys. I promise. Mid-dot. Okay, he's back now.
I was saying, yeah, they do that here in America where they track your phones and everything like that. They just don't. It don't be like if you do something detrimental, like against the law, that's when they come get you. But they track your phones in America too. Like people get tracked all the time. So
that's true.
why
I will say, like,
I definitely say we don't want to be. There's a difference between having regulation and being on almost like communism, where I don't think that's not what I think people want. I'm not saying that I want communism and saying I want us to equal what to the point where nobody gets nothing ahead of, like no one's ahead of nobody. Like that's what communism was, where everyone was the exact same. Like we all get paid the same, we're all eating the same. It don't matter how many people you got in your house, what you got going on. That's it. Whatever reparations that we all got the same reparations. We'll figure it out. And it's like I don't want that to happen, but at the same time, I do understand where there was like the whole, like I said, like you just said, with the whole keeping apps off of certain phones and or not paying attention to certain things because they're not positive things, or they're not things that are pushing you to do better stuff. Like, for example, if America came and said, "Oh yeah, we're banning TikTok from America," I wouldn't be mad that they said that because it's not doing that. Like again, I get it. All the people who get on TikTok and put their little stuff on TikTok and everything, that's cool. You could did that on anywhere else. Like, and it
wouldn't bother me none.
And it's crazy.
Like, oh darn, it's gone now.
For me personally, it's crazy to me how people go to the internet first to go make an impact before they go out into their community,
out into the world.
Like, it was a comedian that said this. Corey Holcomb said this about comedian, which it has something to do with it. At the same time, it don't. Where he was talking about how like he was on the road with a bunch of different comedians at the time, but these were like comedians that just got into comedy because of being viral off of Instagram and TikTok and this and third, Vine and all that stuff. So like they're not really comedians; they just do funny skits. So now they got to get on stage and say jokes, and he's like, bro, like this is not them. They're not comedians. Like this is not
right. These are TikTok stars. They do little dances, then cut, and then edit, and then redo it again.
So it's like now you good when you on your camera on your phone when you can make the videos. It's fun like because now you can make your own jokes. You can do whatever you can. But now it's like when it gets to being in front of people, where it's time for you to put the actual work in, you can't do it. And that's where same thing with people, where it's just like we don't want to do the work, or we don't want to be. We want the name of it without putting the actual effort in. And it's like where are you going? Like how can you get that when you're doing that?
Right, like honestly, granted we're running out of time today, but like we could get into a whole nother discussion of like where these quote unquote celebrities, TikTok celebrities, come in between the public eye. Because in my opinion, I don't know a single one of them. Do I care if any of them just like cut off their TikTok account? No, but I will tell you, the 12-year-olds that are on TikTok would just go to another app and go watch a bunch of other people do the same dance. It's just do they deserve all of the credit they get for creating a 10-second video? And half the time, are they even getting paid for them? You know, like, unless a sponsor's with them, which fair, I can see that. But like,
And even if they
I
getting paid for them, it's like what? Again, I get it where people make fun and have positive times of having fun and everything, but it's like the reason why I brought that up because like again to where I was going back to my other point now, where it was saying how people don't put into their community. So it's again, you're the TikToker where you can make all these dances, you can do all these videos, you can do all this stuff. But now when it's time for you to get on stage, when it's time for you to come do it and put in for your community, or put need the help and the people who you can help out and benefit from, it's no benefit to it. So it's like that's why I say you getting on seeing all these different places and doing all these different things. And it's like, well, where's the benefit in this? Where and that's why I can see why countries would do that. Where you can't have this app because there's no benefit in you putting this app on your phone. You're just gonna sit on your
right,
phone majority of the time. And now when you sit on your phone, the stuff that you need to get done, you can't get it done. I had to learn. I did that earlier today where I was in the middle of work. Sometimes I get on my phone where you'll just start scrolling, and now you just lost in your phone. To the point where I said, "Bro, put my phone down." And I put my phone down completely. Didn't look at it for like 20 minutes. I don't know. I'm still doing something to where my mind is stuck on doing work, this, that, and the third. I'm actually doing work and I'm actually going through it to where it's like, all right, like I can get stuff done versus trying to say, okay, if I check my phone every 10, 15 minutes, I should be able, maybe a text, maybe nothing comes. You wasting your time. You're giving no effort to being good for your community, to your nation, to your country, nothing. And I feel like that's where Americans lose sight of. Like you forgot how to be good citizens.
right. You forget to be good people. It's just I think everybody in America, to some extent, goes through like a villain era. Like I hate to say it, but it's just like when you are a born American citizen. Like I think it's different for immigrants and to some extent like African Americans.
I'm listening.
Some more, yeah, some more or less. But I will say like if you are a born American person, there's a villain era somewhere because somewhere down the line of your family history, there was a point in time where you probably had a lot and you didn't think, I wonder if somebody else doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's something that immigrants, I think, have to think about all the time because they're just like, I came from somewhere that didn't have a lot, and I'm here because now I have the money and the ability to get what I need to provide for my family. And half the immigrants don't want to be here. They're here because they know they can make more money and they want to go back home. But I think everyone in America kind of just like, well, I'm going to have this forever. So like, why should I care about what's out there? You know, like granted, like you don't necessarily have a responsibility to, but like your own people, the people that live here in America, there's people struggling, there's homeless people everywhere. But like how many times does like an American look up from their phone to give $2 to a person on the street who probably hadn't eaten for the last few days? You know what it's just, and I'm not saying anybody has to feel like, oh man, I should start helping the homeless, this and that, but I just think that like we just lose sight of like caring for other people because we just think that they're so easy.
It shouldn't be just help out the homeless. It should be doing what you see fit that is the best you can be to help out. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So like you could be an actor and you could be able to help out certain commercials that's in your hometown that needs a big face and a big name on it. Okay, bam, let me put my face on this real quick for y'all so y'all can get more followers.
So you guys can get more followers or something.
Let me pop up to your food restaurant place and let me eat y'all food and put it on my Instagram so this and the third. Or let me go chill with these kids and speak about the different parts of being in the entertainment business and the third. If I make music, it's always something you can use what you are. For the purpose living conversation we had a long time ago where I said using who you are to be the very best you can. That's when your purpose for living is your purpose. Because you're willing to use who you are to make other people feel good. Versus trying to make Americans, we try to make a facade of being something more than we're not. Like we want to be the biggest thing in the world.
And I think that's also another issue with like rich people. Like not saying they have any like inclination to have to give back to the people, but it's also like half the rich people, like a good portion of the rich people that are up in the up and ups now. The YouTube stars, the TikTok stars, all of the quote unquote new celebrities are making enough money to where if you have a community of something that you love, if you love, I don't know, if you love to dance, if you love to sing, they have enough money to where like, why aren't you supporting those people who brought you up? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
I think they. Let me say this. I don't want people to get it misconstrued where I say helping your community means as in helping like your whole town
right,
your
like
whole
all this and
city,
that.
whatever. You feel me? Like you could be helping your community by just helping your the family and friends that you have around you who need the help and support. So you might see it to where you might not see them go home and give like 50K to the Boys and Girls Club at that, or give $100,000 to the Boys and Girls Club, but they might give a couple 10,000, 15, 20 to their homeboys and friends who got businesses and stuff that they're trying to grow and help them out. That would be a situation where you're helping out your community where it might not be, it don't always have to be direct to like doing something big to where, because now it gets to a difference
Right.
between you doing it because you really want to do it versus trying to do it because you want the publicity from it.
Exactly.
So
That too.
you don't want that
Right.
to happen in that situation. So I don't want people to get misconstrued into saying, oh, like if you're a celebrity, you should be able to put in for people. Nah, you don't really have to earn that money. You did what you're supposed to do with it. Like that's up to you. Now, if you choose to do that, then do it out of the kindness of your heart. But
Right.
I
Not
think
because
that's
you
another
feel like you
issue
need
I have
it.
with that's another issue that I have with Americans too, where it's the entitlement towards it. Where you feel like you're entitled to where, oh well, you got all this money, why can't you give me some? What the make you think
Right.
you
Like,
should
what
be
did you work
entitled
for
to
it?
me giving you anything? Yeah, why should I give you anything that you didn't work for, that I put the work in for? Now because now if I give it to you
Exactly.
now, you're gonna be here every week. You gonna come back next week with your hand out talking about you need
Right.
some
Be
more.
like, oh,
And the
give me
week
some more
after that.
money.
So now this is
Right.
an
Like, I'm not
everyday
your
job.
job.
You
Right.
might well can work for me if you finna come do all that. But now you don't want to work. Where that's the part. That's another part when Americans we became, well, not even just
We don't want to
Americans. I
work.
feel humans in general, we're like this. But Americans are definitely like this. Our first world country people are like this. Definitely, we are naturally inherently lazy as hell.
That is
We
just,
don't want to
yeah,
do
we
shit.
don't want to do anything. We just want to sit. We want to eat. We
We
don't
just
we
wanted to
don't want to
just
walk.
drop it in the
That's why we
lap.
have a bunch of
It's like,
cars. We
why is
don't,
nothing dropping? You want everything to drop in your lap. You want money to drop in your lap, food, the women, the man, whatever. You want everything to drop in your lap just because I demanded. This is I manifested. I made this a thing. Like no, you
and
didn't. You didn't.
that's just in American history too. It's always been like that. Like people have always been going like, I need this at this time because I don't want to do it.
You
And
see,
to
that's
this
the difference
day,
between our generation of American history versus back then. They went and got and fought for it. If they said, "Hey, I deserved it," they wouldn't got it. Versus us, we just say we deserve it, and we just gonna sit here with our hand out like we the Grove sisters from Proud Family, and be like, "I deserve. I need
yep,
mine." Just looking at you like, "Well, go get yours." Like, what are you talking about?
right,
Go
like
get
go
it.
get it. Like,
They back
what are
then
you
they
doing?
got it. They understood. I gotta go get it. Like I can't sit here and argue with you. And even now, I feel like today's day where we talk about go get it, it's more of go get the lifestyle. Like we want to go. Everybody
Right.
want to be rich. Everybody want to look like they're like. I feel like you ever seen the Oz or Wizard of Oz
Yep.
when they finally make it to I think it was Emerald City or something like
Emerald
that.
City. Yep.
And they finally the whole city is just. If you remember the Oz, you remember where it just changed color. Every other, it good to be good and gold, and you just like, what the heck is going on? Like,
Exactly. You're there like, what is going on?
but that's what they was. That's literally how we are in America, where we live for the lifestyle. Everybody was just trying to be the lifestyle. What's the next best thing in the lifestyle? Let's make sure we in gold. Okay, now we're in green. Now we're in red. Now we're in blue. And you're just like, what the heck is going?
What's going on? Like, why are, what?
We gotta live. You're not living for real. Y'all just going through the motions. Like you're just doing
Going through the
whatever the heck
motions.
the
You're
other
not,
person doing. And it's like, but you feel we feel like we're entitled to that. We are entitled to that lifestyle. This is Emerald City. You're not dressed to be here in Emerald City. You should be here. And you're just like, this is nothing. Like this is just another
right. Cause
city compared to another city compared to
right.
another city. It's what are you talking about? Like, okay,
Yep. That it's just like, oh yeah, you can't be here because you don't match the dress code. Oh, really? Well, I worked to get here. But my
like
appearance and
I
whatnot,
got invited, but okay.
I got invited, but my appearance is what's off. I mean, that sounds pretty
The person
similar to a couple.
whatever.
Right.
I
It
guess
sounds pretty similar to the
I
years in
just
the back. I mean, in the past. But I mean, okay, I'll just go back and work some more for you people.
city.
Oh, he's gone. Coming back up. Oh, he's back. Oh, nope, he's leaving.
This is me. But
Nope.
and like I said, it's the court of public opinion has definitely went crazy in America, and in first world
Yes.
countries in general. Because even now in London, if you see New England, they're starting to go crazy with podcasts and stuff like that now. So it's like,
Yeah, it's
like
starting to
everybody,
become
you starting. I
a
ain't
big.
gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm starting to realize that people doing it's not even just in like in first world countries. This is everywhere now.
Yeah, this is starting to become an everywhere thing. Everyone's
Everybody
doing it.
was
Oh, he's gone.
yeah. This is like
We're cutting now.
I'm here back.
Okay. I
I'm
think
back.
you're good now.
Yeah, this is scary. This is scary. Well, I'm gonna let you close this out. What's your final thoughts of today in today's episode? You know, tell me what you think.
Final thoughts. So I will say that these last couple days I've been talking with teachers about the thoughts of like what it is like to really be an American in American society as like what am I, fourth generation American person nowadays. And I will say that we are one of the it's interesting when you start to realize that I'm a human, just one human out of the millions and billions of humans on the planet. And on top of that, I'm an American human. And that comes with a lot of history and a lot of things that a lot of things that are supposedly supposed to matter that don't. And there's bigger issues behind them. And that's really what needs to be solved. But as an American person, there's just not too much you can really do about them sometimes. You just realize life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's all you have to really think about. That's all you really can do. And that's all you can really strive for sometimes. So I think this was a very interesting discussion though. And it made me think a lot, some more. It just adds to what I need to continue writing about in my homework later this week. What about you, Z?
What did you learn?
Final thoughts?
What you learn today? What did you learn today?
I learned,
answer that first. What you learned today?
I learned that geez, I don't know. You know how like when you have a whole like discussion and they ask you what you learned today and you're like, I don't know. That's
Not even one thing out of this.
right. Like didn't I tell you the answers to the homework? What do you mean you didn't
I
learn
just
anything?
gave you just anything.
Right, anything. Right, like no. I think one thing I learned is that I sometimes I think about the American freedom, and I learned that we are very privileged human beings. But I will say that it morally speaking, it really depends on how you use that privilege and what is the right way about. I think the right way about going about your privilege is realizing how much of it is something that is earned, or something that you feel that you are inclined to have to an extent, and what is it that you're taking possibly from somebody else. So I think those things sometimes need to be thought about in a moral perspective of what is right towards the person. But I will say that Americans abuse power. That's really my final thoughts on that. What about you, Z? Final thoughts?
Yeah, fucking back massage. That's my final thought. All right.
The final thoughts are, I need a back massage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go for his court opinion. I think the public court of opinion it's always gonna be exactly what it is. It's the public court of opinion where people go, I always have their opinion and everything. I think people need to be able to make sure that they are a lot more knowing of the situation and having knowledge before they make opinions on stuff. I think that'd be a lot of issues where a lot of things go bad for a lot of people. Um, American living, we the way how we the Americans and how we live, like it's a saying that I've heard before where people privilege is blind to the people live through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you never, of course, you don't understand your privilege because you're living through the privilege. Like, you don't understand exactly how it affects other people or how you really are privileged in this situation because you're seeing it as in this is normal everyday life. For other people, it's not like that. And I feel like Americans need to understand that the way how we live is not normal everyday life. Okay, we are
Yes,
in
we
Emerald. We
are.
are Emerald City of this. We are one of the Emerald cities. Okay, we're or Emerald
Yes,
country if you
very
want to call it.
true. We're
So it's
Emerald
like
Country.
you can't sit here and try to play that game. Like you got to understand that the situation that we're in times plus the situation that's on the outskirts of what is going on. Because the biggest problem about Emerald City was that they never knew about the outside of Emerald City. Like
Right.
they
They
never
didn't even
thought
know
about
there was
anything.
an outside. Yep.
Like it's just Emerald City, Emerald City. This is just the greatest thing that ever happened. And it's like,
Right. We're great. We're so amazing. But like,
and we have
what
our
makes it so
faults as
amazing?
Americans. Yeah, we have our faults, and I feel like as people, we need to understand, even with the Chris Brown situation, like, bro, people have faults. Like, it's who we determine as human beings. Like, when do we let things go, and when do we accept apologies, and when do we accept forgiveness? Like, like because I feel like we've entitled ourselves into being feeling like we are the judge, the jury, the executioner, the president, we're the all the above, and it's like, well, you really don't have to. Like, learn to understand. And I feel like another thing that people need to understand when we're talking about American living is I think people need to understand the difference between living for lifestyle versus living for peace. Because when you start living for lifestyle, that's when you start to realize that you're gonna always have to try to fit into a lifestyle that everyone else is trying to live, and it's hard to get into. And then on top of that, you got to really try to. Once you get into it, it's harder to stay in it. So it's like you got to, if you're really ready for that lifestyle, to understand what you're dealing with. I think that a lot of people really need to like wake up and really understand the bottom line of what they're going through, which is you're in Emerald City now. I need you to go out, get on the yellow brick road, and go find you somewhere else to go, and figure out what the other shit is first before
Absolutely.
you dream about Emerald City. Because Emerald City right now is starting to look like rubies.
Yep. That sounds about right. Well, with that, guys, that is our little spiel for today. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. I honestly didn't think it was gonna get this entertaining, but like, hey, look at that. We decided to make you guys
This
entertained.
was lit. I ain't gonna
Love
lie.
that. Yeah, I think it was pretty lit.
This was,
I really liked it. Hopefully, we have more discussions like this in the future. A little me and Z day, we have our little fun. But yes,
you
this
might
was
do that.
Dietyeradio. Yeah, we have to have like a Nina and Z day. This is kind of a nice change of pace. Mocha and Saw sometimes they have a little chat. Me and Z have to do a day. But yeah, this has been Dietyeradio. If you guys want to follow our socials, you can follow me Nixie_Gabriella. Z, you can tell him Z Hano
But
underscore.
she know it. She know it. If she know it, y'all do it. So I ain't gonna say that.
Right. You guys know it. You guys know it. You guys know me. Whatever. But yeah, this has been our today's podcast. Hope you guys loved it. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You know how it is. And we will see you guys in the next podcast.
Yes, y'all have a good one. Stay safe out here. And we litty.
Yes.
And
Bye.
we outie.